Welcome to the Deep Dive, where we cut through the noise to get you the most important insights from the latest research. You know, it's a common puzzle we all face, right? We invest so much in technology, especially cutting-edge AI, but often we don't see that massive, game-changing jump in productivity we expect. It really brings to mind Robert Sallo's famous 1987 comment. You can see the computer age everywhere, but in the productivity statistics. And honestly, that still feels pretty relevant today, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. It's something many organizations are still grappling with.
So our mission in this deep dive is to unpack exactly how organizations can genuinely make their people and their technology work together, in harmony, to drive significant performance improvements. Our source today is a fantastic article from Harvard Business Review, How to Marry Process Management and AI. It's by Thomas H. Davenport and Thomas C. Redman. And these guys aren't just academics. They have extensive real-world backgrounds in process management. They really know their stuff.
They certainly do. And this deep dive, well, it's going to lay out a powerful new philosophy for you. It reveals how people, data, analytics, and, crucially, AI can combine synergistically to strengthen business performance in ways we've, frankly, only dreamed of before. Think of this as your shortcut to understanding not just why process management is more crucial now than ever, but also how to implement it successfully, helping you sidestep some of the pitfalls that plagued past attempts.
Right, those past attempts. So to really grasp this new reality, maybe we should first establish a common ground. What exactly is process management at its heart?
Good question. At its core, it's about understanding how a sequence of tasks, how they fit together to create a specific outcome, and then, importantly, making intelligent improvements to that sequence.
And its applicability is just immense, isn't it? From individual tasks.
Exactly. From one person doing one thing all the way up to these complex end-to-end organizational processes, the kind that cross departments, even company boundaries sometimes.
And the key insight, when done right, it's not just about efficiency gains, right? It's more systematic.
It's about systematically unlocking hidden value across your entire operation. And when it is done correctly, process management is incredibly effective. Well-managed processes consistently lead to higher productivity. That's a given. You'll see reduced error rates, significantly shorter cycle times, and a measurable decrease in that low-value, often frustrating work that nobody likes doing.
The benefits sound like a no-brainer, really.
They are. They really are.
So if it's so powerful, why did process management sort of fall out of favor for a while? It sounds like this brilliant idea got bogged down.
It did get bogged down by practical hurdles.
Yeah.
Historically, it's been really difficult to implement at scale, just too complex.
And when we talk about AI today, it typically supports narrow tasks, maybe sub-processes.
But not those entire end-to-end organizational flows. That's the gap.
Which means organizations have had to, string together multiple AI use cases? That sounds complicated.
It is complicated. No small feat at all. And you mentioned other challenges before, the change management, the clash with traditional hierarchies.
Yeah, those sound like fundamental shifts, not just minor tweaks.
They are the biggest hurdles, frankly. Process management requires massive change management. You're talking about persuading stakeholders right across the board, retraining workers, integrating lots of moving parts. It's a huge undertaking. And it frequently clashes with traditional hierarchical management structures. Why? Because processes often cut across those neat departmental silos.
Disruptive.
Very disruptive. Plus, its reputation really took a hit back in the early 90s with that process re-engineering fad. That whole movement, often driven by consultants, left behind too many failed projects and, sadly, layoffs.
Which understandably made organizations wary.
Exactly. Wary of anything with process in the name. And it didn't help that earlier, more incremental approaches like Lean and Six Sigma.
Right, the ones focused on streamlining workflows, reducing defects.
Yeah, those sometimes lacked robust technology support to truly scale their impact. They were good, but limited in reach without the tech backend.
Okay, but here's the twist, the interesting part. The very technology that seemed to bypass it. Now it's become its most powerful ally. How did that happen?
Well, over the past several years, new technologies have created these incredible opportunities to truly transform process management. It's making it a powerful and crucially viable approach again.
So it's a synergy.
Absolutely. It's
Yeah.
a mutually reinforcing relationship. New technologies actually help companies significantly scale up improved processes, much more than before.
And on the flip side, it's much easier to deploy and get real value from a new AI algorithm when the process it supports is already well-defined, well-managed.
Precisely. And crucially, integrated end-to-end processes. They're exactly what provide the huge quantities of high-quality data needed to train and continuously improve AI models.
Ah, the data. It always comes back to the data, doesn't it?
It does. It's a virtuous cycle. Better processes, better data, smarter AI, which helps improve the processes further.
Okay, so this synergy also helps with that old silo problem, departments not talking to each other, using different data.
Yes, exactly. Good process management requires departments to adopt common data standards and share data freely across the organization. This can be a tough sell, because departments often implement systems tailored just for their specific needs.
Not necessarily for the good of the whole end-to-end flow.
Right. The source gives a great example. An operations department wasting tons of time cleaning up bad data from sales. Sales doesn't even realize their data is problematic because they're focused on their own metrics, like meeting quotas.
While operations is stuck cleaning data they weren't trained for, stuck in their silo.
Exactly. The critical takeaway here is that process management doesn't just fix individual errors. It forces this organization-wide transparency. It makes these systemic issues impossible to ignore. It shines a harsh light on errors and the inefficiencies they cause.
Motivating actual systematic improvement.
That's the goal.
So, okay, for organizations listening that maybe don't have a strong process orientation yet, where do you even begin? It sounds daunting.
The source suggests starting small. Don't try to boil the ocean. Pick one or two critical processes, ones that are really central to performance.
And the order to cash, or OTC process, is mentioned as a popular one.
Yes, very popular and impactful. It encompasses all those steps, from when a customer places an order right through to when the payment is actually received.
Pretty fundamental for nearly every business.
Absolutely fundamental. And it's fascinating to see how different companies have approached this. You've got European companies like Siemens creating common OTC sub-processes across their decentralized units. BMW has standardized most of its global production processes. Reckitt, the consumer products giant, is actively streamlining its entire OTC process using process mining and automation right now.
So they've really baked IT-enabled process management into their operations for years.
They have. In North America, you see companies like Uber, PepsiCo, Cardinal Health, Johnson & Johnson. They often started with a narrower focus initially, maybe optimizing customer service first or accounts payable like PepsiCo did.
So that incremental approach can be a smart way in.
It can be a really smart entry point, yes, especially for organizations new to this kind of comprehensive process thinking.
Okay, with that foundation laid, let's map out the actionable path forward. The source outlines 7 crucial steps for integrating AI into process management. Let's unpack these, and we can keep using that order cash example to, bring them to life. Step 1, establish ownership. Sounds critical.
Absolutely crucial. The first goal is bringing together a cross-functional team. Managers who are willing to take end-to-end responsibility for how that process performs.
And this involves naming a process owner, a new role.
Yes, often a new senior role, someone to coordinate the work. The tricky part is this person needs influence, but often without formal authority over everyone involved.
Influence without authority. Always a challenge.
Definitely. And you'll also have process managers from each involved department: sales, operations, shipping, finance, and so on.
But this step introduces a real challenge, doesn't it? The source mentions conflicting priorities.
It does. The process owner is aligned with the customer's priorities, ideally, but the day-to-day line managers, they're typically aligned with their boss's priorities.
Which might not be the same thing.
Often not. For instance, a salesperson pushed to meet a quota might enter an order promising 10-day delivery, even if inventory suggests 20 days is more realistic. The process owner, looking at the whole flow, might advise setting the longer date. Puts the employee in a tough spot.
Right, caught in the middle. That inherent tension sounds like a real organizational headache. For companies that do navigate this successfully, what are they doing? How do these owners bridge that gap?
That's a great question, and it really comes down to data and transparency. Successful process owners use objective data, often from process mining, to show exactly how departmental actions impact the end-to-end flow and ultimately the customer.
Making it visible.
Making it visible. They facilitate regular cross-functional meetings where these conflicts are discussed openly, always focusing on the customer's perspective. It's about building consensus through a shared understanding of the collective impact, rather than just relying on top-down authority.
So they become master communicators, persuaders,
Yeah,
armed with facts.
exactly.
Okay, on to step 2. Identify process customers. Simple enough.
Seems simple, but it's fundamental. At the beginning of any initiative, you have to ask, who are the customers? Internal, external. What do they want? What do they need most? And how do we actually deliver that?
For OTC, the primary customers are obvious, the buyers and the company itself needing cash flow.
Right. But there can be secondary customers too, like marketing wanting to use on-time delivery as a selling point.
Or maybe a sustainability group focused on the carbon footprint of shipping.
Precisely. This forces everyone to determine priorities and align the work.
And technology helps here too, I imagine.
Oh, hugely. Customer relationship management systems, CRMs, give you deep insights into attrition, service requests, profitability, and generative AI systems.
Wow.
They're getting incredibly good at analyzing and summarizing customer comments from calls, emails, social media.
So you can quickly grasp what customers are actually saying, even from huge amounts of unstructured data.
Exactly. Massive data sets turned into actionable insights.
Okay, step 3. Map out the existing process, the flowchart step.
Yep, developing that high-level flowchart, showing how goods physically move, how data is created, how it flows, how it's used. Historically, this was, painstaking manual effort, Post-it notes covering entire wall.
I've seen those rooms.
We all have. But today, AI can automate a lot of this mapping, which drastically speeds things up.
And when mapping, the advice is to focus on the white spaces. What are those?
Think of them as the murky handoff points between departments. The interfaces. They're often neglected because accountability gets fuzzy. It's not clearly one department's job.
And that's where delays and errors creep in.
Exactly. They love to hide there. This is also where process mining becomes enormously helpful. This technology extracts data directly from IT systems log files to model, analyze, and optimize processes. It wasn't really available in earlier waves of process management.
Giving you real-time insights.
Real-time insights into computer-mediated tasks, like exactly how long it takes to fill an order or get paid. It highlights the pain points for redesign with stunning clarity.
We've seen some truly impressive success stories here. You mentioned PepsiCo earlier.
Yes, PepsiCo. They started process mining with accounts payable back in 2019. Saved thousands of human labor hours, millions in write-offs annually.
Wow.
Then they expanded it to their end-to-end OTC process. Using Celonis, a process mining vendor, they tackled this initial 30% order rejection rate they had after installing a new SAP system.
30%, that's huge.
Massive. And with AI layered on top of the process mining insights, they got it down to just 4%.
Incredible. Just shows the power of that data-driven optimization.
It really does.
Okay, step 4. Step 4. Establish process performance measures and targets. Metrics time.
Metrics time. Define the key ones for the revised process. For OTC, you're looking at end-to-end cycle times, order placement to payment receipt. Also customer satisfaction, data accuracy, overall process efficiency, things like that.
And the targets shouldn't be arbitrary, right? Not just pulling numbers out of thin air.
Definitely not. They should be based on what's truly needed by the customers and the business, and what's actually possible now with redesign and technology. Not just based on, say, last year's numbers plus 10%.
The source had a great example here, the telecom firm.
Yes, the telecom firm. They discovered their 90-day service delivery cycle time, get this, included 80 days of just waiting between steps.
80 days out of 90, just waiting.
80 days of dead time, not actual work. Can you imagine?
That's staggering.
By better coordinating those handoffs, understanding where the waits were, they eliminated 60 of those waiting days.
60 days.
Huge impact. Much happier customers, obviously. And they got cash in the door significantly faster. It just powerfully demonstrates the impact of truly understanding what you're measuring and where the bottlenecks really are.
Okay, step 5. Consider process enablers. This is where the tech really comes into play, right?
Exactly. Technologies that can enhance your redesigned processes.
Like robotic process automation, RPA, those software bots.
Yes. RPA tools from vendors like Microsoft, UiPath. They're excellent for streamlining smaller, repetitive, routine processes, mimicking human clicks and data entry.
Good for the low-hanging fruit, perhaps.
Often, yes. And for larger, more complex processes, both generative AI and traditional machine learning can significantly enhance performance. For OTC, think about generative AI drafting initial contract language, or helping customers place more accurate orders by maybe suggesting alternatives or add-ons.
Or sending proactive alerts about delivery changes. That would be nice.
Exactly. While traditional machine learning excels at things like optimizing pricing strategies, speeding up credit approvals, preventing fraud, even estimating staffing levels for call centers or warehouses with far greater accuracy than humans can.
And there are other techs, too. IoT sensors, blockchain.
Yeah, they're becoming relevant enablers too. IoT sensors for monitoring manufacturing equipment to predict maintenance needs, for instance, or blockchain for ensuring transparent, secure tracking of goods along a complex supply chain. Lots of tools in the toolbox now.
Okay, brings us to step 6. Redesign the process, the actual mapping of the to-be state.
Right. This phase is led by that cross-functional team again. The goal isn't just mapping a better workflow on paper, it's also identifying the necessary changes in skills, technology, and even organizational structure to actually support that new process.
And AI is speeding this up too. You mentioned Pega's blueprint tool.
Yes, it's incredible how AI accelerates process design now. Pega's blueprint uses generative AI to suggest best practice process designs. It draws from their extensive library of processes across industries, essentially giving you a massive head start based on what's worked elsewhere.
Like having a consultant built into the software.
In a way, yes. And Deutsche Telekom is a great case study here, one of Pega's customers. They used Blueprint to rebuild 800 complex HR processes across more than 20 countries. They'd been struggling with slow progress.
Misunderstandings between business and IT trying to translate requirements. Classic problem.
Exactly. Blueprint apparently eliminated these issues. It allowed business experts to describe processes in their own words, and the AI helped structure it. It also intelligently suggested overlooked steps or items, created templates. The result? They streamlined 250 processes significantly.
Boosting employee satisfaction and saving millions of euros. Impressive.
Very. And looking ahead, the potential seems even greater. Generative AI for image creation, generative design tools, digital twins. These are expected to help teams imagine, simulate, and optimize entirely new process designs with unprecedented speed and accuracy.
Like having a visionary architect for your business processes, as the source put it.
That's a good way to think about it.
Okay, finally, step 7. Implement and monitor the process, the home stretch, or just the beginning of the next phase.
More like the beginning of the new normal. Implementation definitely requires considerable effort. You've got training employees on new workflows, integrating data across systems, building out new tech components, briefing customers on changes.
It's not a quick fix.
No, but it shouldn't be a multi-year slog either. The goal should be seeing real impact within months, not years.
And once it's live, the key is establishing that new normal of control and continuous improvement.
Absolutely. This is the complete antithesis of firefighting, that constant feeling of scrambling to fix problems after they've already hit.
We want to be proactive.
Proactive. See the data, understand the variations, and nip issues in the bud before they escalate. And process mining is probably the most valuable tool here for ongoing monitoring and control. It continuously uncovers those variations from the standard process that need to be investigated and eliminated. Why did this order take longer? Why was the step skipped?
Making the invisible visible again.
Precisely. Mars Wrigley, for instance, in their big supply chain redesign, they used a fourth-party logistics company. Part of their job was to work with the carriers and constantly monitor performance using these kinds of tools, ensuring reliable delivery and addressing variations in real time.
And this monitoring has to be constant, right? Because businesses are always changing.
Always. New customers, new products, new regulations, new technologies. The environment is dynamic. Process management and mining can't be a one-off project. It has to be continuous.
You have to stay ahead of the curve.
You do.
So wrapping this up, what's really fascinating here is how the whole landscape has shifted.
It really has. The reasons for companies to employ process management are, well, greater than ever. The potential payoff is huge. And crucially, the difficulties of actually doing it are smaller than ever before.
Thanks largely to AI and these other powerful new technologies we've discussed.
Exactly.
It really is that virtuous cycle we talked about. Better data fuels easier tech implementation.
Which leads to significant productivity gains.
And generates more high-quality data for even smarter AI.
Round and round it goes.
Ultimately, process management just seems absolutely essential for any firm that's serious about leveraging AI effectively.
I agree, because at the end of the day, organizations don't just have processes.
They deliver all their value through them. That's how work gets done.
Precisely, which really raises an important question for everyone listening. It's time for senior managers, really managers at all levels, to put process back squarely on their radar screens. Time to begin sorting out how to make it better in their own departments, their own areas of responsibility. So the thought to leave you with is this. What process in your organization could benefit most from this kind of deep dive? Where could marrying process management and AI make the biggest difference for you?